Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
As our father, David Hamelech would say, BARUCK nefeshi et Yahweh, Wekol Karabi et Shem Karasho. Bless Yahweh, O my soul, and all that is within me. Bless His Kodesh name. Honor to Yah, King everlasting, all His servants, the Kedoshim, MORAY, Zokanim, everyone under the sound of my voice. All honor belongs to Yah, all praise belongs to Yah, and it's a good day to be alive. Good day to be alive. Always grateful, always thankful. Y'all know this ain't really my spot no more as far as the Torah portions. Normally deal with the Nabi'im. MORAY Malakia is out, so I'm covering for him. I tried to get Sar to do it, but he passed the rock. But it's told me, we all are capable. Y'all. I just thank y'all for our brothers coming from out of state. MORAY is a part. Definitely honor to have y'all in the building. You know, y'all represent a lot of things and a lot of torches. We're in the day and the time where a lot of torches are being passed. A lot of torches are being passed. You know, so it'd be a sad day if nobody's there that you can pass the torch to. But these brothers are taking the torches and they're running with it, carrying on traditions, a legacy, and also evolving and elevating themselves. There's a lot that I heard this morning. There's a lot of mixed conversation that I heard. I call it mixed conversation because there's a lot going on within the nation. Yah said by His Ruach, He's going to bring His people back. You understand? How would you define Ruach? If you had to define what Ruach is, what would you say Ruach is? You had to define it quickly. Just define it. You want to say something more?
No, she asked me.
Okay. All right, I see that smile on your face. Yeah. How would you define Ruach? If you just had to define what Ruach is. What?
I would say energy.
Energy, okay.
A spiritual Wi-Fi.
Spiritual Wi-Fi. Okay.
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Allows you to continue breathing.
Allows you to continue breathing. Some people say wind. I always side with the term of inspiration. It's an inspiring. You don't even know where it comes from at times.
I think it's Latin for in spirit. In spirit means in spirit.
Kind. You just feel like sometimes you say stuff, you don't even know where it comes from. Up here, I may say something, you may tell me I said it, I don't even remember. Because maybe it wasn't me talking. Maybe it sounded like BARUCK, it looked like BARUCK, but maybe it wasn't BARUCK. I ain't trying to be hocus pocus or try to spook you. I'm just telling you that Ruach is very much so real.
Ken, I just want to quickly elaborate on that spiritual Wi-Fi because your Ruach is a connector. It connects you to the Creator.
Absolutely.
A lot of you all, you might have connections with one another. You might not have any idea that brother right there needs some assistance, but you go up to him and you start building with him and you find out that something was wrong in his Ruach.
That's right.
So you didn't even know what connected you, but you got connected.
Inspired. You was connected. You was, brother, you all right? Aki, you mom. Ruach. There's a lot of things happening in the Ruach, and we don't really know. That's how the Ruach works. You feel that cool wind, you're like, man, that thing felt like it came from the east, or felt like it came from the west. Where's it going?
Right.
Does it just keep going east? Does it turn back around and come back? What the Most High question, yo, were you there? Was you there? That's how we talk. I didn't know, was you there? You sitting up here talking, was you there when I did? How did I do it? Most High check you, right? He'll check you quick. If you was there, you so smart, how did I do this? I don't know. That's what the old said, really. You know I don't know this. Right? Many of the Nabim said that. You know, I don't know this. You have to tell me, you have to explain it to me. I want to read something before I get started with the portion. The title of the portion today is Pedqude. It's coming from SHEMOT chapter 38, 21, and 40, 38. Actually, Wayukahal is actually connected with this. So they actually kind of go together, both of those portions. But coming from that, but before I go there, I want to go to Yeshaya 55. I want to read that, and then I want to come back into the portion. This is a hard portion to teach, right? Some people say, no, it ain't. It's talking about this. The only reason I say that is there's a lot entailed in it, you know, and if you really break down, which I'm not going to do today, but if you really break down all the makings and stuff, it's a story, you know what I'm saying? It's a dynamic story. But I want to start with Yeshaya chapter 55, and then we'll go back to the portion.
Sefer Yeshayahu, commonly called Isaiah chapter 55, verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
O everyone who thirsts, come to the waters. And you who have no silver, come, buy and eat. Come, buy wine and milk, without silver and without price. Why do you weigh out silver for what is not bread, and your labor for what does not satisfy?
Think about that. Just think about the creative attitude of Nabi, right? Say, why do you weigh out silver for what is not bread? Why you, for what it's not even going to satisfy you? Why are you working for what doesn't really pay off? Just the point, right? Remember, Pedqude, right? We're building the tabernacle right now. And I said, we're building the tabernacle. Pay attention. Why? Why are you laboring for what doesn't? Read that again.
Verse 2. Why do you weigh out silver for what is not bread, and your labor for what does not satisfy? Listen to me, and eat what is good, and let your being delight itself in fatness. Incline your ear and come to me. Hear, so that your being lives. And let me make an everlasting covenant with you, the trustworthy, loving commitments of Yahweh. See, I have given him as a witness to the people, as a witness to the people, a leader and a commander for the people. See, a nation you do not know, you shall call, and a nation who does not know you, who does not know you, run to you. Because of Yahweh your Elohim and the set apart one of Israel, for he has adorned you.
Has that happened yet? Has that happened yet? Not as a nationwide, but guess what? They do that for us now. You know they do that to us right now? Check every one of these major corporations, major businesses. I guarantee you it's one of us sitting somewhere at the top, whether it's a sister or brother, that's behind the doors running stuff. Gucci, major clothes. We're in there. We're just not on the spot, but we in there. We in there doing stuff, designing, because we're still blessed, even in the curse. How can the curse be blessed? Ain't that so? How can the curse be blessed? I hear people say, man, we built this country. Well, this country is one of the greatest nations on the planet, really. They're running a lot of stuff, right? But they say we built it. So I would say, whoever built that, man, they must have been something special there. Just think about it. Just meditate, right? Keep going. So we are fulfilling this to a certain extent, but not as a nationwide. But individually, there are individuals of the nation that are fulfilling these prophecies. That these nations are running to them, trying to get their opinion, trying to get them on the team. Especially when it comes to wealth and money. They're always trying to get us in there somewhere. A lot of the medical inventions and things of that nature, the discoveries, we did that. Right? It just came out of Black History Month. I hope somebody was at least reading the children's stuff they was bringing home. Did you just look over your child stuff, Oh, wow, I didn't know that. I be doing it all the time. Like, I didn't know he did that. I didn't know who did that. Learning, but you realize we've done a lot, and I'm still doing a lot as far as innovation, changing music that's inspired all over the world. This is Yehuda.
And the interesting is like, over the years, it's a lot of things that we've said.
Right.
And it's like, man, something as simple as jazz. That didn't exist before. Those that came here or those that developed here.
Right.
It's certain just innovations that didn't exist before here. So what do you say to that?
I would say Dawid. There were things in Israel that did not exist until Dawid came on the scene.
Okay.
Did you know that? He was an innovator in Israel. And then his son became behind him, and he was an innovator. Now, what would have happened if his son had remained righteous? We'd probably be living in the heavens literally right now. Think about it. They were innovators. He changed the musical game for Israel. Israel had never seen musicians in Israel like when Dawid came on the scene. He had them singing in front of the Mishkan day and night. They were writers. They wrote prophetic songs. These were prophets that he had in his band. I'm going to use that term. They were prophets. They were not being. They were prophesying through music. Changed the game to the point where Elisha was like, I don't know. Yah has not revealed this to me. He said, give me a harp and play the harp. See what I'm saying? It doesn't jump out to us sometimes, but when we read, they had never seen this before. When Shlomo built the temple, Israel had never seen a temple like that before. Not in the other nations. He built something that was just unheard of. It was up to date in technology. Just a lot. All right? Okay.
Seek Yahweh while he is to be found. Call on him while he is near. Let the wrong forsake his way, and the unrighteous man his thoughts. Let him return to Yahweh, who has compassion on him, and to our Elohim, for he pardons much. For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways.
So how do we know what his thoughts are? If his thoughts are not our thoughts, how do we know what his thoughts are? Something simple answer, no trick question. How do we know what his thoughts are?
The ones that he has given us through his Naviim.
And we talked about it last week. We talked about it last week. In the building of all these things, we're being invited into the mind of Yah. See, we're not looking at it like that. Neither was some of them, which is why they didn't make it to the other side. We're getting a look and a glimpse into the mind of the Creator. So he's saying, make this like this. Do this. Get this guy. He's already skilled. I'm going to give him even more wisdom to do this. Why do we don't do this when we do our practices? Why don't we practice the same things that the Creator did? How he built his house. How he formulated his nation. Should we not mold our own house after that same example, since we're getting a look into the mind of Yah? He already said how you think is not how I think. I'm gonna say it again because he said it. How you think is not how he thinks. Sometimes, why did he have to tell us that? Shouldn't we have already known? Sometimes in our daily life and activities, we forget that sometimes how we think is not how he thinks, unless we're following the model. So in this portion, he's given us a model. He's given us a blueprint. He's given us a map. He's saying, pay attention to everything that I'm doing. My brother said to me, he said, the Yah mind thinks everything out to the even to the most minute detail. That's the Yah mind. Alright?
For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. For as the rain comes down and the snow from the heavens, and do not return there, but water the earth, and make it bring forth and bud, and give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so is my word that goes forth from my mouth. It does not return to me empty, but shall do what I please, and shall certainly accomplish what I sent for.
Okay.
For with joy you go out, and with shalom you are brought in. The mountains and the hills break forth into singing before you. And all the trees of the field clap the hands. Instead of the thorn, the cypress comes up, and instead of the nettle, the myrtle comes up. And it shall be to Yahweh for a name, for an everlasting sign, which is not cut off.
So he says, as joy goes out and shalom does what? Is brought in. So the rain and the snow, they don't return to the heavens as they came.
Okay.
Right? But through science, we would say what? What happens? It evaporates what? It comes back as a spirit, right? Right? It's to say that the way you come out is not the way you come back. Right? So the Most High sent you, planted you on earth. The way you return to Him is in another form. Right? Alright, so let's go to the portion today. SHEMOT chapter 38. We're going to finish out SHEMOT today. Probably do a little quiz, a little mishpaka building at the end. Since some of you, it may be your first time completing SHEMOT or going through SHEMOT.
Sefer Shemot, commonly called the book of Exodus.
All right, quick review. What did we talk about last week? Anybody quickly remember or have a follow on it? Go ahead.
The Mishkan and what went in it, and
Okay.
and the order of the priests and the whole workmanship, the spirit that the Most High put on the skillful workers.
Time. What was the key ingredient that he said in order? He said, ask the people, but there was a key ingredient from anybody that the Most High wanted something from. There was a key ingredient that had to be there. Go ahead, Imam.
The willing heart.
The willing heart. Nadab, right? One of the names of Aharon's sons. Nadab, the willing heart. The willing heart. A heart that was willing. Same thing today, nothing's changed. A willing heart. That's what builds the Mishkan. Right? The willing hearts. Why did he just tell Moshe to do it by himself? Why did he say, Moshe, get your house, get Aharon, y'all build this thing? Why did he say that? It's a what?
It's a community effort.
It's a community effort. It's a family thing. It always was. It always was. It's a family thing. He could have told Moshe and Aharon, man, y'all get. Matter of fact, I'm gonna provide the stuff. He said, go ask for a teruma of the people. Everybody got a part in it. Who has a what? Willing heart.
Okay.
So if the Mishkan is not being built, it might be because there's not enough people with a what? Willing heart. See, there was something Sar said earlier. He said they having arguments on the internet saying there's no way a Messianic and a non-Messianic congregation they can fellowship to be. That's a lie. Because we've been doing it for over a year.
That's right.
Okay.
I would say y'all are liars.
Okay.
I would ask them, where are you getting your information from? That's not true. Or maybe it's not enough of you in here with a willing heart
Come on.
to say that, you know what, let's get all the idolatry out, okay?
Yes.
Now, once we get that out, there are certain things that there has to be a standard, right? Let's set a standard, and then let's say everybody who agrees to the standard, no matter what your individual, we can come together under the banner of Torah. We did it. Over a year we've been running doing it.
Okay.
Don't get it wrong, we broke up, the assembly broke up in certain aspects over it, but guess what? Now we're here and we have a mixed multitude here. We did it. Nobody can tell me you can't do it.
Okay.
There's not enough people with the willing heart. That's what built the Mishkan. That's what built the tent. the tent of meeting, the willing-hearted people. Because I understand, guess what? No matter what your personal understanding of it is, if you're in need, I'm still going to help you. The Torah still remains the foundation, whether you're on either side, it still remains the foundation. That's a fact. It doesn't never go away. Yahshua said that himself. So what are we arguing about? What are we saying? So now let's continue to move forward, right? The willing heart. Now we got the willing heart. Now what we need once we have the willing heart. So we're getting a formula here. The scriptures, the Torah is full of formulas. Now we got the willing heart. What do we need now? Based on what we read last week, we got the willing heart.
Skills.
Okay. Now we need some skills, because it can't just be a bunch of willing-hearted people with no skills.
That's right.
So what are we doing to acquire skills?
Or those who have already had the skills.
Yeah, those who already had the skills. But guess what? There was still class being taught.
Okay.
There were still people they were teaching and showing and telling them to do this, do that. But where are we getting the skills from? Because now we're pre this, right? So now we need to be acquiring the skills, because guess what? The Torah teaches us that, yeah, there are things we're going to have to rebuild in our land. We're going to have to get over there. Certain things we're going to have to fix back and set back up. What are we doing to get skills? This is where the whole fairy tale and all that stuff goes out the window, and it's like, okay, you send a bunch of people into an area. We talking about we want to go back to land. You send a bunch of people into the area and nobody got skills. What are we about to do? We about to go and tear up what's already over there. Right. My toilet clogged up. I'm just hitting this button and it ain't doing nothing. What are we talking about?
Come on, Rob.
We have to educate. We have to send our people to school. We have to put our children. Our children need to be doctors. There's no reason why they shouldn't be doctors and lawyers.
Okay.
Skilled tradesmen, tradeswomen. I'll be one to cut it. There's no excuse now, because he was men of skill. So the Most High collected the men of skill. He said, "I'll put my spirit on Holiah, Betzael." Right? Go ahead.
Just a question. So where would the roster be for these people?
The roster,
Yes.
right here.
And when I ask the question, it's like, okay, if everyone has a skill, then in that case, we should support each other in a way that, we're keeping it in the community.
That's right.
Look, but it's more than just, it's like, so where would the roster be? So say if I do, art, and then your sons do, and they're lawyers and doctors, and then who else is, okay, we need more people. Where are the skills at?
The thing is the way I look at it is that everything is set up in this community right here. Mm-hmm. Just like up in New York, they should have in their community, and that camp, it should be men and women of skill. You know what I'm saying? And then when we come together with the big project, what we do? We unite. And then it can even be to the point where you have specialty groups. So if COI do music, they go, if we want to get this, let's get COI to come and put together this. That's how it should be. That's what it was. If you wanted to, in David's time, if you wanted the band to come and sing for you, who would you call? The sons of Aesop. Get them, please. Can we get them out here? Can we get the sons of Aesop? Because that's what they were known for doing. For music. Writing songs. You see what I'm saying? Where's the house builders? Where's the electricians? Who we call? They build houses. This camp, the whole camp, they got people that can build a house, and everybody's certified in different avenues of building a house. Certified plumber, certified electrician. So we say, okay, we want to build a house, we hire them. That's why I say it starts with your camps. Camps have to develop specialties. We got somebody talking about going to law school. Well then we have a lawyer on deck.
Okay.
With the Hebrew name.
Okay.
The law offices of Malachi. That's what I want to see on the building.
Yes, yes.
That's what it should be.
Okay.
The law offices of Malachi. I was like, no, I already have my lawyer. You understand? This is where we should be. In times past, because of the whole curses and stuff, we've been taught that they won't let us do this and they won't let us do it. Yehuda always did whatever they chose to do in other countries, if you pay attention. They went in other countries, they became in high political places. You see what I'm saying? They got to where they called shots. They ran provinces. You see what I'm saying? They did things even in captivity. And then when it was time to go, they left. And guess what? Some didn't want to leave. And that's going to be the case here. Some don't want to leave. That's okay. That's up to them. They're going to reap whatever they reap. All right? All right, let's go back to, so 35, we got to start. Mosai said 35:1, and Moshe assembled all the congregation of the children of Israel and said to them, these are the words which Mosai has commanded you to do. Work is done for 6 days, but on the 7th day it shall be set apart to you a Shabbat of rest to the Most High. Anyone doing work is put to death. So he started off chapter 35, verse 1 with that. We talked about that briefly last week. Malak asked the question, why did he start with that commandment before he's about to give them instructions on how to build this thing, right? And the answer was what?
Be reminded of it, just in case they thought it was a priest, a Levite, they're working too much.
Right, they need to be reminded because they're about to go to work. So they're about to really put this 6 days you labor, but the 7 days, they're about to really put this to the test. You understand? They're actually about to start practicing this and building the Mishkan, right? All right, so let's go to chapter 38, verse 21.
So fair Shemot, coming called Exodus, chapter 38, verse 21. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
These were the appointments or accounts of the dwelling place of the witness, which was appointed by the mouth of Moshe, for the service of the Levi, by the hand of Itamar, son of Aharon the priest.
The appointments, the Pedqude, right? Or Pedqude, right? So Pedqude, anybody know what that word means? That's the root of it, Pedqude or quad. Anybody know counting?
Yeah, counting.
Accounting for, accounting, right? All right, that word is really, really broad. It has quite a few things that it's used for. So it's also used to. It also means to visit. To visit. Yeah. Like Moses said, I'm going to visit you in Mitzrayim. Right? Or the day of my visitation. Right? So Pedqude also means to visit. Now that's kind of interesting that the word for count also means to visit. What relation is that? We'll give you a few other words. It means to examine. Right? It means to examine. Right? Why would the word for count mean to examine? It means to look after. To look after. It also means punish. It's interesting. The word mean all of that. And there's one thing that it means that we read all the time. We say it all the time, should I say, from Dawid, right? Precept. So you're going to see that a lot in Tehillim 119, right? He says, teach me your precepts. Okay. You're going to see that all around Tehillim 119. Precepts. Hakodim. Why would to count mean to visit, to examine, to look after, precepts, to punish? What does that all have to do with counting?
Something that you have to look over is something that's tedious. You gotta be careful about it. So you're making sure this is one little number off.
That's right. When you're an accountant, I wish What's-Called was in here, Kia. When you're an accountant or you counting up something, what are you doing? You like, them accountants, they're on numbers. They want numbers. They're paying attention It's something that you have to really be focused on. You have to pay attention. You have to examine, right? So if you want to say, what is a precept then? Right. A precept is something that you break down and you take it piece by piece. You like,
Okay.
that's why. Same word, right? So just pay attention in all of this, because the Most High He's giving you the breakdown. That's what He's saying. I'm chopping it up for you.
Verse 22. And Bezalel, son of Uri, son of Ker, of the tribe of Yehudah, made all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And with him Aholiab, son of Achisamach, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver and designer, and embroiderer in blue and purple and scarlet, and in fine linen. All the gold prepared for the work, and all the work of the set apart place, and it was the gold of the wave offering. Came to be 29 talents and 730 shekels, according to the shekel of the set apart place. And the silver from the ones counted of the congregation was 100 talents and 1,775 shekels, according to the shekel of the set apart place. A bakwa, half a shekel for a head, according to the shekel of the set apart place. For everyone passing over to those counted, from 20 years old and above, for 603,550 men. And the 100 talents of silver were for casting the sockets of the set apart place and the bases of the veil, 100 sockets from the 100 talents, a talent for each socket. And of the 1,775 shekels he made hooks for the columns, and overlaid their tops, and made bands for them. And the bronze of the wave offering was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels. And with it he made the sockets for the door of the tent of appointment, and the bronze slaughter place, and the sockets for the courtyard all around, and the bases for the courtyard gate, and all the pegs for the dwelling place, and all the pegs for the courtyard all around. And of the blue and purple and scarlet they made woven garments to do the service in the set apart place. And they made the set apart garments which were for Aharon, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he made the shoulder garment of gold, of blue and purple and scarlet, and of fine woven linen. And they beat out sheets of gold and cut it into threads to work it in with the blue and purple and scarlet and the fine linen, the work of a skilled workman. They made shoulder pieces for it to join it. It was joined at its two edges. And the embroidered band of his shoulder garment that was on it was of the same work of gold, and blue and purple and scarlet, and of fine woven linen, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the shoham stones, set in plated work of gold, engraved as signets are engraved, according to the names of the sons of Yisrael. And he put them.
So what we got here is it's like a mantle, but this is a priestly mantle. Okay, so I'm sure everybody's seen the pictures. Cause can you give me some artwork real fast of like the breastplate, the Kohen would wear? Yeah, with the stones. No, I like draw it on here. You know how we do it. It's everybody, brother. You know he's good at bringing the imagery about, but. So it's like a royal mantle, but that has never been seen before. That has never been seen before. Now, I'm going to come back to that in a minute, but I want you to be thinking about everything that you're reading is something that has never been, there's no liken to it. Right, go ahead.
I just wanted to revisit that word Pedqude. I actually saw a word that kind of summed it all up for me. It said inventory. Inventory,
perfect. Inventory, right? Now, you know what people do when they take an inventory, right? It's very tedious. It's very, you got to be on top of it. You got to be paying attention. Okay, inventory. Still with the breastplate, 12 stones, the name, 12 stones. Okay, keep on.
Verse 7. And he put them on the shoulders of the shoulder garment, stones of remembrance for the sons of Yisrael, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he made the breastplate a work of skilled workmen, like the work of the shoulder garment of gold, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and of fine woven linen. It was square. They made the breastplate double, its length a span, its width a span, double. And they filled it with 4 rows of stones. A row of ruby, a topaz, and an emerald was the first row. And the second row, a turquoise, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a jacinth, an agate, and an amethyst. In the fourth row, a beryl, a shoham, and a jasper, set in plated work of gold in their settings. And the stones were according to the names of the sons of Yisrael, 12, according to their names, engraved like a signet, each one with its own name according to the 12 tribes. They made braided chains of corded work for the breastplate at the ends of clean gold. And they made 2 settings of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings on the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 cords they fastened in the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the shoulder garment in the front.
So just based on what we are reading, how would you say the Creator likes to connect things? Just from what we're reading.
Twice.
Twice? Okay. Twice. Using what? Just based on what we're reading. Just based on what we're reading. What is he using to connect these pieces together? Look at what?
Pattern.
A pattern. Okay. Huh? He's using what? Yeah, he likes gold. He does like gold. He's using gold. But, huh?
Colors.
I don't know. He's using something that all these things are connecting to. These pieces are being connected by way of what? Rings. Rings. Make a ring of this, make a ring of that, connect it with a strap. You see what I'm saying? Everything has got some sort of ring in it. Put the staff, make the staff so that they go through the rings, you know. So what? Yeah. Okay. But anyway, he's using rings to connect things. What do rings represent? Go ahead. She said completion. You said what?
Something that doesn't have a beginning or an end. It's like eternal.
Infinite. Infinity. Represents infinity. That's what they use rings to represent. Oh, they use rings to represent infinity. There's no, it's just a continual cycle. When does the Shabbat end? What year is the Shabbat start? It comes around. It's a cycle. It's boom, boom, boom. Right? Rings. Alright? Okay, keep going.
Verse 17. And they put the 2 cords of gold in the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 cords they fastened in the 2 settings, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the shoulder garment in the front. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, on the edge of it, which was on the inward side of the shoulder garment. And they made 2 gold rings, and put them on the 2 shoulder pieces, underneath the shoulder garment, on the front of it, close to its seam above the embroidered band of the shoulder garment. And they bound the breastplate by means of its rings to the rings of the shoulder garment with a blue cord, so that it would be above the embroidered band of the shoulder garment, and that the breastplate would not come loose from the shoulder garment, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he made the robe of the shoulder garment of woven work, all of blue. And the opening of the robe was in the middle, like the opening in a scaled armor, with a woven binding all around the opening, so that it would not tear. And they made on the hem of the robe pomegranates of blue and purple and scarlet twine. And they made bells of clean gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates on the hem of the robe all around between the pomegranates. a bell and a pomegranate, all around the hem of the robe, for the service as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the long shirt of fine linen, the work of a weaver, for Aharon and his sons, and a turban of fine linen, and the turban ornaments of fine linen, and short trousers of fine woven linen, and a girdle of fine woven linen with blue and purple and scarlet, the work of an embroiderer, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And they made the plate of the set-apart sign of dedication of clean gold, and wrote on it an inscription like the engraving of a signet, set apartness to Yahweh. And they put on it a blue cord to fasten it above on the turban, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And all the work of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment was completed. And the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe, so they did.
Okay. So all the work has been completed. The last thing they give you is the garment or the costume, I'm going to use that term, of the Kohen HaGadol. Right? Layered outfit with the stones of the children of Israel on his what? On his breastplate. Right? So what does that mean? I know you heard people say stuff before, but what does that mean? Now to get into something else a little bit. What would that mean? The stones with the names of the children of Israel on his chest. Right? Right?
The question was, what do you think that the stones represent?
Well, the stones have the name, each stone has a name of one of the 12 tribes. Right? That's the breastplate, right? So what's the symbology behind that?
So you can always keep the people that are on the forefront, that are part of
Okay.
protect them.
Okay. Alright. Okay.
So now that I look at the wonderful drawing by MORAY,
That's what I asked. Just give a hand clap for the wonderful. The wonderful.
So when I look at that, it kind of looks similar to a bulletproof vest. To me,
Okay.
it's like, okay, so these 12 tribes are the protection for what is set apart to the Creator.
Okay. They're the protection for what is set apart to the Creator. Pretty good. Right?
I would just say it can represent different energies, like the different stones and different aspects of the 12 tribes. Like all primitive tables.
Okay. Different energies. You millennials, I tell you.
It keeps him reminded of who he's representation.
Okay.
Of who he's representing for.
Okay, who he's representing representation for, right? What about all the rest of the nations? They don't matter? They'll be high. They good. What do they all? They okay.
When you starting out and you building a nation, you have to show what makes up this nation. And he's putting these names on the breastplate to show this makes the nation. These are the nation of Israel.
Okay, that's making the nation. Okay. Anybody else? The stones on the breastplate, close to the heart of Aharon himself, right? Who is the what? High priest, Kohen HaGadol, right? And he's the one who does what? Ministers, right? Right? He goes before the Creator, right? He intercedes. Lewi means what? Join. Okay. Join. What are they joined to? I understand what his Imam said, but the Lewi are the bridge to the Most High, right? For the nation. We come to them, we bring out, they inquire of Yah for us. Some even say that Urim and the Thummim would go into a pouch in the breastplate where they would minister. This is a very, I'm not going to say, I'm going to use the term, but I don't want your mind to go, people say mystical or mysterious, right? So they would inquire of Yah, and some say that the lights would light up. You know, if you cast the light might light up on Yehuda in the middle, you see what I'm saying? And that would be the answer. So it's a lot of different understandings of what this means. I'm not going to begin to try to, because I can say some things I read, but that's neither here nor there. But there's always a significance in what the things the Most High tells you to do. He already told you that my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your ways. This would even be considered like secret knowledge that the Kohanim would have an understanding of. And it may not even been all the Kohanim. It might have just been Aharon, and whoever take his place would know how this works.
Correct.
You understand? Remember last week we read about who was that? Uzziah. Remember Uzziah, who came in and did what? He burned the incense. And the Kohen Azariah came out and said, Lo lecha.
Okay.
This is not for you. What are you doing? So this might have been what they call secret knowledge, that only the Kohen Hagadol would know how this works. He's the only one that needed to know. So I'm not going to sit up and try to explain it, but I know that all this has a purpose. And then it's no coincidence that the crown that he wore, it says what? Hey. What do you say? I love when that brother be saying that. Quadosh, he said Quadosh La Yahweh, right? So he's set apart to Yah. Everything on him is set apart to Yah.
Okay. Thank.
And notice he said, put the names on the stones. Engrave their names on the stone. Punch it on the stones. A nation never, we're not a nation, but we are a nation. Right? So the Most High is really putting his signature on us right now. He's telling us to make all this stuff because he's like, just make it. And I'm going to explain. I'm going to give the breakdown. You start getting breakdowns in Wayikra, right? But he's saying, go ahead and make all this stuff because now you about to be elevated to the next level of worship. Right? Servitude to me as a people. So the Most High is preparing us. He says, make all these things. Like I always say, like, yeah, if you build it, he'll come.
Yeah.
Get a house for Yah. Get a house for Yah. He'll come. If you do it the right, with the willing heart, the right attitude, the right spirit, he'll come. He said, go ahead and build this and watch what happens. I'm about to do something. So he's preparing us for level 2. Right? Level 2. We just came out, level 1. Beat Pharaoh. Boom, 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 boom. Beat him. He's done. Right? We get out, now we're about to hit level 2. Right? Okay.
Verse 33. And all the work of the dwelling place and the tent of appointment was completed, and the children of Israel did according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. So they did. And they brought the dwelling place to Moshe the tent, and all its furnishings, its hooks, its boards, its bars, and its columns, and its sockets. And the covering of ram skins dyed red, and the covering of fine leather, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the witness with its poles, and the lid of atonement, the table and all its utensils, and the showbread, the clean lampstand with its lamps, the lamps to be put in order, and all its utensils, and the oil for the light, and the slaughter place of gold, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the covering for the tent door, the bronze slaughter place, and its bronze grating, its poles, and all its utensils, the basin with its stand, the screens of the courtyard, its columns and its sockets, the covering for the courtyard gate, its cords, and its pegs, and all the utensils for the service of the dwelling place, for the tent of appointment, the woven garments to do service in the set-apart place, the set-apart garments for Aharon the priest, and his sons' garments to serve as priests, according to all that Yahweh had commanded Moshe. So the children of Israel did all the work. And Moshe looked over all the work and saw they did it as Yahweh had commanded. So they had done. And Moshe blessed them. And Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, On the first day of the first new month, you are to raise up the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall put in it the ark of the witness, and screen the ark with the veil. And you shall bring in the table, and arrange what belongs on it, and bring in the lampstand, and light its lamps. And you shall set the slaughter place of gold for the incense before the ark of the witness, and put up the covering of the door to the dwelling place. And you shall set the slaughter place of the ascending offering before the door of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and shall set the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and shall put water therein. And you shall set up the courtyard all around, and shall place the covering of the courtyard gate, and shall take the anointing oil, and anoint the dwelling place, and all that is in it, and shall set it and all its utensils apart. And it shall be set apart.
And it shall be Kodesh, right? Who makes something Kodesh? The Most High, okay? You make things set apart. If we don't make this building set apart, who will? That's why he said, take it, you do this with it, and then it shall be set apart. So yes, overall it's the Most High, but we have a responsibility to make things Kodesh. Because guess what? We have the ability to do what? With what else with it? We have the ability to profane it or defile it. So we have the same ability to make it Kodesh. If I take this and go, nobody touches this except the MORAY, guess what it is? And I anoint it and say, only the MORAY can touch this. What is it? It's Kodesh. Maybe not to the Creator because he didn't ordain, but to us, it's what? Kodesh. And we don't allow anybody to tamper or touch it. You make it Kodesh. That's why most I said, set yourselves apart. You set yourselves apart through obedience to what the Creator has ordained. When Moshe anointed it, that's when things were Kodesh. Okay?
Verse 10. And you shall anoint the slaughter place of the ascending offering, and all its utensils, and set the slaughter place apart. And the slaughter place shall be most set apart. And you shall anoint the basin and its stand, and set it apart. And you shall bring Aharon and his sons to the door of the tent of appointment, and wash them with water. And you shall put the set apart garments on Aharon, and anoint him, and set him apart to serve as priest to me. And you shall bring his sons, and put long shirts on them, and shall anoint them as you anointed their father, and they shall serve as priests to me. And their anointing shall be for them an everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Moshe did according to all that Yahweh had commanded him, so he did. And it came to be in the first new month of the second year, on the first day of the new month, that the dwelling place was raised up. And Moshe raised up the dwelling place, and placed its sockets, and set up its boards, and put in its bars, and raised up its columns, and spread the tent over the dwelling place, and put the covering of the tent on top of it, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he took the witness, and put it into the ark, and he put the poles through the rings of the ark, and put the lid of atonement on top of the ark, and brought the ark into the dwelling place, and placed the veil of the covering to screen off the ark of the witness, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe.
So what is the witness that he put into the ark? Just temp check. Huh? Tablets. Tablets. That's important for us. The tablets put into the ark. Moshe kept the book, but the tablets were in the ark. Alright?
Verse 22. And he put the table in the tent of appointment on the north side of the dwelling place, outside the veil, and set the bread in order upon it before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the lampstand in the tent of appointment opposite the table, on the south side of the dwelling place, and lit the lamps before Yahweh, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the gold slaughter place in the tent of appointment, in front of the veil. and burnt sweet incense on it, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he set up the covering to the door of the dwelling place.
He burned the sweet incense. So this is where the priest went into, and he would try to burn incense to the Most High, which is why he was stopped by the Kohanim. Right? You have levels of Kodesh, right? So you have the outer court, right? Then you come in to the inner court, and then you have the what? Kodesh HaKodeshim, right? The holies of holies, which is beyond the Pedqude or the veil. So it's just layered. Same way, that's why I said last week, it's like your body. What's the most innermost part of your body? Your what? Your heart or your mind, right? Somebody take your mind away, destroy the whole thing. You see people live without arms and legs and stuff, but guess what? Their mind is still good and their vital organs. So the body, they're around it. And then they get very creative. Ain't that something? It happens. But the most inner part is where the Most High dwells. Like I asked before, who sits on the seat of your throne?
Okay.
Who sits in the seat of your heart?
Okay.
The innermost part where the Most High dwells. Should be covered. Should be protected. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 28.
Just out.
And he set up the covering to the door of the dwelling place. And he put the slaughter place of ascending offering before the door of the dwelling place of the tent of appointment, and offered upon it the ascending offering and the grain offering, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he put the basin between the tent of appointment and the slaughter place, and put water therein for washing. And Moshe and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet with water from it, as they went into the tent of appointment. And as they came near the slaughter place, they would wash, as Yahweh had commanded Moshe. And he raised up the courtyard all around the dwelling place and the slaughter place, and placed the covering of the courtyard gate. And Moshe completed the work. And the cloud covered the tent of appointment, and the steam of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And Moshe was not able to come into the tent of appointment, because the cloud dwelt on it, and the esteem of Yahweh filled the dwelling place. And when the cloud was taken up from above the dwelling place, the children of Israel went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud was not taken up, then they did not set out to the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of Yahweh was on the dwelling place by day, and fire was on it by night, before the eyes of all the house of Israel in all their journeys. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Go to Malachi chapter 7. Malachi, Olive, chapter 8, actually. Start verse 6.
Malachi Aleph. Sefer Malachi Aleph, commonly called 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 6. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahweh to its place, into the speaking place of the house.
1 King?
Yeah.
1 Kings chapter 8, verse 6. Chapter 8, verse 6. And the priest brought in the ark of the covenant of Yahweh to its place, into the speaking place of the house, to the most set apart place, under the wings of the cherubim. For the cherubim spread two wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubim covered over the ark and its poles. And the poles extended so that the ends of the poles were seen from the set apart place in front of the speaking place, but they were not seen from outside. And they are there to this day. There was nothing in the ark, only the 2 tablets of stone, which Moshe put there at Horeb.
Same thing, right?
Where Yahweh made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Mitzrayim. And it came to be, when the priest came out of the set-apart place, that the cloud filled the house of Yahweh, so that the priests were unable to stand and perform the service because of the cloud. For the esteem of Yahweh filled the house of Yahweh. And Shlomo said, Yahweh has said he would dwell in the dark cloud.
He was dwelling in what?
In the dark cloud. I have indeed built you an exalted house. I have indeed built you an exalted house, an established place for you to dwell in forever. And the sovereign turned around and blessed all the assembly of Israel, while all the assembly of Israel was standing. And he said, Blessed be Yahweh Elohim of Israel, who spoke with his mouth to my father David, and with his hand has filled it, saying, Since the day I brought my people Israel out of Mitzrayim, I have chosen no city from any tribe of Israel in which to build a house for my name to be there. But I chose David to be over my people Israel. And it was in the heart of my father David, and it was in the heart of my father David to build a house for the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel. But Yahweh said to my father David, Because it has been in your heart to build a house for my name, you did well that it was in your heart. Only you do not build the house, but your son, who is coming from your loins. He does build a house for my name. Now Yahweh has established his word which he spoke, and I have been raised up instead of my father David, and sit on the throne of Israel, as Yahweh promised, and built a house for the name of Yahweh Elohim of Israel, and have appointed there a place for the ark, wherein is the covenant of Yahweh, which he made with our fathers when he brought them out of the land of Mitzrayim.
Okay. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
So the second time it happened, what happened? Same thing. The cloud. That cloud. What is that cloud? What is that? What is that cloud? It's got people running up out of there, you know. Man, getting out of there. Imagine you doing the work. You setting up, you lighting the menorah, and then just the cloud just run you up out of there. What is this cloud? What is this cloud? Imagine your enemies stand up on the mountains and watching this all happen. Think about it. It ain't like he hit them, I'm gonna hide him right here. He's like, this is millions, this is a few million people right here. They sit there watching like, could you? Smoke coming out of there. What's going on? They might think something else going on.
Okay.
But it's that cloud is running these people out of there. Holy men. Holy men are running up out of there. Moshe had to get up out of there, didn't he? It said he got up out of there. This clouds represent many things. Many things. One is protection. Covering. What did Shlomo just say? He said in the dark clouds. You said you would dwell in the dark clouds. You in there. Also, in the book of Yirmiyahu, he talks about, thus said Yahweh. No longer say Yahweh brought the children of Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim, but the Most High who brought the children of Israel out of what? The land of the north. He said, man, they're not even going to remember that. Something else big about to happen. So you see how he's making the progressions with Shlomo in the cloud field, and it was this Shlomo was prophesying. What's going to happen next? What's it going to look like next time? This time. That's why I say, man, we got a lot to look forward to.
Okay.
Progressions. This is Yah making us set apart from every other nation. Now he's putting his stamp on us. Approved by the Most High. He's saying, I'm going to bring you out. He brought us out. He put us in the wilderness. Right? He says, now you're about to be different from everybody on this planet. And this is how you're going to do it. Make this, make that, do this, do not do that. See, we look at it as, not to say we, but people look at it as, all them laws, man, I like to be free. It's like he's giving you your freedom. You know, you got to be given your freedom because we're born in bondage. Think about it. Not bondage like somebody's over. We're born in mental bondage. So, as a summary, right? Shemot. We just got through Shemot. What was one of the major highlights of Shemot, right? Give me a major highlight of Shemot. Anybody?
Israel became a nation.
Israel becomes a nation, right? Bow. Major highlight Shemot. Introduced on a national level. I'm gonna brand y'all. Kadosh lo Yahweh, right? Right on your head. There you go. Introduced. Y'all wear my stamp now, right? What else? Also, he said he gonna speak. He put the name to the people, right? Go ahead.
Egypt was destroyed.
Egypt, Mitzrayim was destroyed, right?
First time that the Creator used a man in the status of Elohim.
First time we read it in the Torah, the Most High gives him the status of Elohim. So you shall be like Elohim to what? Pharaoh. Right. And Aharon your Nabi, right?
Okay. Coming out of Egypt.
Coming out of Mitzrayim. Okay, go ahead.
We agreed.
We agreed to follow him. Highlights, right? We agreed to follow him. All that, call that share they bar Yahweh not say. We'll do it. Everything that he said, we'll perform it. We said it.
Okay.
You say, I didn't say that. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
It's in your memory, right? Your DNA. It's in your hard drive. You did say it. You said it. Because those who speak for you said it. Like your mom said, you going to church today. You going to church. That's all it is to it. You riding out, you know. Right? What else? What else? Y'all forgot already? It's a lot happened to Shemot. Highlights, come on.
Oh, building of the temple.
Building of the Mishkan, we just read it.
Okay.
The what? What laws?
With the priests,
With the Kohanim?
like
Okay.
the incense, the...
Okay. The instructions dealing with the Mishkan, right? Okay. What else? Something major we was just not even talking about. It's like we just ignoring something major.
Holy men became anointed.
Okay. Something else major. That you don't see anywhere else in the whole Tanakh.
Ground opened up and swallowed up the...
Yeah, that is, you don't see that anywhere else. That's true. Yeah, that was major. What else?
Yeah, I'm talking face-to-face.
With Moshe, Cain. Something else though.
And having to tell them to stop bringing stuff.
Okay. Something else major. The what? Pow. She said it. What she said? The Aseret Ha-Dabarim. The 10 Commandments. Right? Our institution. Nobody said that. We said the commandments like the mission, but the 10 words on and on.
Set a standard.
Right. The first set of standards given to us as a nation. Now, I just want to talk about that briefly, and I'm going to sit down so we can get MORAY up. The Aseret Ha-Dabarim is very important, right? Why didn't he just say all this stuff to us? He went through 10. Why didn't he just say all of what he just, why did he say? Too much? So, very important. And this is the BARUCK highlight of Shemot. And I want to bring this out because my MORAY said something to me, or one of my MORAY said that to me. You know, that no matter where you are, Aseret Ha-Dabarim, you should be able to keep. Right? No matter what aspect of captivity you are, or whatever, there are certain things about you shouldn't be breaking those, right? Even to remember the Shabbat, right? You say, well, you can't keep Shabbat when you're there's a different level to that you can, right? But so one is, what's the word for 10, right? I said, right? Okay. I said, right? That's 10, right? Do we agree? I said? 10, right? So that word alone is very important. He spoke 10 words or 10 commands, people say, to us, right? He spoke it directly to every man, everyone, whoever was there heard it, right? He spoke to us from the cloud, the mount, fire, right? He gave us 10, right? What does this word mean? 10, besides 10. I've said it before in the lesson and stuff, but what else does that word mean? What does it mean?
The smallest unit of wealth.
Right. We talked about this. It means wealth. That's what the word means. 10, I said, means wealth. It's the smallest number of wealth. So it's the lowest level of wealth that you can have. $10, 10 whatever, 10 people following you, whatever. That's why you see that all throughout the Tanakh. If there are but 10 people, will you not say, Solomon? Most I said, what? I'll do it for 10, right?
Okay.
He told Abraham. He said, assign men. And sign them. He said, the lowest number that you assign men over is how many? 10. So it's your unit, right? It's your unit. So, wealth, lowest number of wealth. He gave us 10 things that would, one, make us wealthy.
Okay.
If you live by these. That's one. 10 things that will make a man or a woman wealthy if they live by it. Those 10 words would make, or 10 commandments, would make any man or any woman wealthy, right? If they live by it.
Okay.
You will have wealth. You will be the rich man, right? Go ahead, it's okay?
I'm going to refer back to the book you sent us.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, that's one aspect.
Right, the richest man in Babylon.
So, now, how do you fulfill these 10 commandments?
From the bottom.
No, you can't do that. We was talking, right? Right? How does a man or a woman do this, right? The first commandment is what? You have no other Elohim before my face, right? That's the first commandment, right? What's the second commandment? You better know it.
You said not make unto thee
any great image, right? Anything like the heavens above, earth beneath, water on earth, now bow down and serve them. Y'all right? What's the third commandment? Take the name of y'all in vain. Right? Now, the question would be is that, how do I teach them that?
Okay.
How do I teach a child that? I'm Yah, your Elohim, have no other before me. How do I teach them that?
By your actions.
By my actions? Okay. Okay. So, by my actions I do that. So what if my actions would apply to them that I don't have no other before Elohim?
I say consider them first before things, making decisions concerning matters.
Okay.
You should be thinking about what
Okay. Okay. All right. So, I will say this. Certain things are harder for children to understand. Right? Certain things. Everybody has children understand that certain things you like, I don't even know how to explain this to them. You see what I'm saying? You could just say it, and maybe depending on the makeup of that child, how much wisdom the Most High bless that child, they may understand it, but certain things are hard. Do not make for yourselves any graven image, any likeness of that which is in garden. Right? So what if I took the 10 Commandments, right? 10 Commandments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What if I flipped it upside down? Just a thought.
Okay.
If I flipped it upside down, what if I said, yeah, it is number 1 because it's the greatest commandment, but you have to work yourselves up through the ranks to get to that.
Come on.
So you're looking at things that we can see.
Right. Because with children, they deal with, you know, what is a child? A child covets. Have you ever seen a child? That children covet, don't they? They want things that are not theirs. So your first thing you're going to deal with that child on, you're not going to deal with them on have no other before me. You're going to deal with them on what? Stop taking, you can't do that. That's not yours. So you teach them that's not yours. Right? Then you teach them about do not bear false witness. Stop lying. Stop saying that. Right? Do not steal. Do not kill. A child that killed, who you think they hire overseas to kill adults? Children. They put give AKs to them and say have fun. Children. They say the children are the most creative killers are children. So, in essence, the highest level of the Aseret HaDabarim is have no other before me. I think that's one of the hardest things for man to do, and they indirectly, because they battle with the Creator. See, we can act a certain kind of way, but we're the ones who battle with the Creator. Yeah, you may not battle with, remember Shabbat to keep the Kodesh, or you may. I'm just going. We are the ones that feud with the Creator. That's the highest level. Also can be the hardest level. May not be hard for you not to want nothing that nobody else got, or bear false witness, or murder, commit adultery, but as you start getting to the higher levels, honor your father and your mother. They get a little hard, don't it? Like, that's talking crazy. Daddy was talking, I ain't like the way he approached me on, you see what I'm saying? I mean, let's just keep it real. Think about your teenage days. The higher you get up, the harder it becomes. Do not take his name in vain. That means that everything you do, you're representing the Creator's name. You got to be very careful. So what if the commandments was actually, you start at the bottom and then you work your way up to the top?
All right now, I like it.
That's how a new person would do it. Right? When you came, go ahead, Aki.
It's almost like majority of us, I'm not speaking of everybody, I'm saying a majority of people I've met, they try to be spiritual before understanding physical things. It's like, brother, you don't understand because, the Ruach showed me.
That's real.
It's like, bro, you just came in the way yesterday.
And what did the Creator use to explain spiritual matters to Israelites? Natural things.
Yes.
Natural things. I will make your heavens iron and your earth brass. It's like, I know. He's giving you natural things to understand a spiritual matter that happens. Right? He said the cankerworm is eating your. He's giving you a mindset of natural things. So if I'm learning every new person, what do they start off? Now I stopped eating pork, man. I started to realize they start with very natural things, very things that are tangible before you can get to the level. That's where the church kind of flipped it. They're spiritual, but they've never actually accomplished any of the natural practices. So it's kind of like, yeah, you can eat that. That don't make it. No, it does make you unclean. It's medically proven. Right? I mean, you ask your doctor, you can sit the first thing they start telling you is one thing is pork. Stop eating this, stop eating that. It's in the commandments. So if we look at the Aseret HaDabarim like that, then it looks a little different. It looks a little different. Understand that you don't really start at one. Start by how you treat your brothers. Okay. Even in the message, I say, how could you say you love the Father, who you've never seen, but you hate your brother who you see every day? It's silly. It's a double. It doesn't work.
Right.
How can you not deal with the people that I put in your midst, but you want to deal with me? So if you work it from the bottom to top, you might see that maybe you haven't really accomplished level 1. Maybe you haven't got to level 1 yet. Maybe you still don't honor your father or your mother. Yeah, I did go off of my daddy, but he's not in the way. So what?
Come on now.
That doesn't matter.
That's right.
It says honor your father and your mother.
That's right.
No asterisk there.
Right? Is there an asterisk in Hebrew? Did you read that in Hebrew? I didn't either. But I'm just saying, maybe if we do that. Go ahead, Akutu.
I was going to say, you said there's levels, and I was going to say there's even levels to the level.
Right.
Once you go through it, even if you go through it backwards, when you go through it again, you'll see that there's other things you still need to take off.
Absolutely.
Because I know when I first started keeping Shabbat, initially I just wasn't going to work on Saturday.
Right.
you know, and then it turned into other things.
That's the beauty.
So like we gotta keep going through it over and over.
And I'm gonna say that's the wealth. That's if I can leave anything with you, that's the wealth. That's how you get if you do these 10, you'll be wealthy. You will be the richest people on the planet. That's why it was given to us. He said, I, Yahweh, have given you the ability to obtain wealth. I gave you the ability to obtain wealth through this Torah. And it ain't monetary. Money is just something you get because Shlomo got money because he asked for the right things. He asked for the real wealth. Most I said, and I'm gonna give you money too. It just comes with it. It just comes with it. That's what we have to get. Flip it upside down and then see what level you're on, and then start working from there. Start working from there. We always, I have no other before me. I start with number 1, and it's like, no, you need to start with coveting your neighbor. You need to start with coveting. And bearing false witness, and committing adultery, and stealing, or being stealth. That's what stealing is. You know, you need to start with this being yashar, upright. That's what you need to start. And then you'll accomplish that, and then you'll get to those levels of, you know, remembering the Shabbat to keep it Kodesh. That's a high level. Y'all don't understand how high, what kind of level keeping the Shabbat Kodesh is. That's a whole nother standard. I can say I do it. I'm not going to sit up here and lie. There's a lot of work that comes into keeping the Shabbat Kodesh. And anybody that say they don't, say you don't. All I'm going to do is examine you. It says, mark the perfect man. I'm going to watch what you do. Now you just put me on you. Oh, you do. Right. Okay. That's how I got to learn. So these are things I just want to leave with you. If anything, flip that Asher the Hadabarim upside down and see what level you're going from there. From the bottom to the top. That's why he gave you that one as number 1. He said, this is the highest level that you can get. Have no other before me. And that one before me, meaning around, even in the vicinity. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
That's it.
I'm just gonna, it's a thought. It's like, what is the top? What is the bottom? As above, so below. As below, so above. So
yeah. Because the word for around is acharim. Acharim means what? After, before. I mean, it can mean after or before, or even around.
wow.
Tomorrow. You know, so however you want to look at it, tomorrow is before us, right? So as I said, it means all sides. Lo yihye laka Elohim al-Chalim al-Panah. I don't have nobody before my presence, my face. That's the highest level of worship that you can accomplish. Right? So I just want to leave that with you. Shemot summed up in a nutshell. All praise to the Most High Yah. Elohim Abraham Yitzhak Yaakov. Blessed are the hearers and the doers of his Torah. Hallelujah. Let's stand up for the praise and worship.